Hi, and welcome to the Delight Knits podcast. My name is Emily, and this is where I like to talk about all that I have been knitting on. Can't remember the last time I posted, when it was that I last posted, maybe about a month ago, but today is August 21st. It's a Wednesday. I took my test this morning, so now I get the afternoon off. Don't find out the results for another few months to like November, so be thinking about me. But I am here to talk about a few things that I've been knitting on for the last month, and that's about it. I've got a few finished objects and 2 whips, and I guess that's all there really is to start off with. I will have everything that I talk about down below in the description box. I will, you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry and all as Delight Knits or some variation of that, and that will be linked in the description box as well. And I think that's about it. So I will just jump right in. I know last time I podcasted, I was working on these socks. I think I was almost done, but they are finished now. I have worn them once or twice because I wasn't going to hold off for when I podcasted, not knowing when I was going to podcast next. So yeah, I knit my socks on a US size 0, a 2mm 9-inch circular needle. The yarn for these, the self-striping is a Desert Vista Dye Works, and then the 3 different minis are they were 10-gram minis that I had dyed myself. I've played around with dyeing yarn a little bit, and I haven't done it in over a year, but I have minis left over from when I was trialing colors that I had purchased, so that's that. I cast on 64 stitches, 2x2 ribbing for 20 rounds. I don't remember how much I did on the leg. I've got the slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset, and then for my toes, I decrease every other round to 20 stitches, and then every round to 10 stitches, and then Kitchener. So that's about it on my socks. This was the second pair in using Desert Vista Dye Works, and this is National Emo Day. And so I've gotten quite a bit out of that skein of yarn. Let me go grab the leftovers real quick. They're just over here. So my leftovers for that is right here. So I will be using those in some scrappy socks, because y'all know I love my scrappy socks. Speaking of, I'm wearing a pair. And yeah, that is, if you saw the bag, is String Crazy Bags, one of her bucket bags, her smaller ones. Absolutely love it. So haven't really cleaned out the bag yet. We'll get there. My next finished object, last time you saw me working on it as well, is the Douglas Cardi. It's the second one I've made, and this is the one that I made for my mom, and I'm gonna go give that to her this weekend, here just in a couple days. So I used Ruby and Rose's soft, I don't know, it's Rose Decay, I think that's it. So some of these are from her Flowers Gone Wild collection. I think 1 or 2 might be from her Taylor Swift collection. And then this main color or contrast edging color is Writer's Block. So I don't know the colorway names, but here is that finished Douglas Cardi. I love it. It turned out great. I did make changes from this one compared to my first one, which is like a darker blues and pinks. I went 1 size up. I knit, instead of decreasing, I didn't decrease as much making the neck, or I didn't decrease as much in this curve because it would have come out to a little bit wider. I know we wanted a baggier look or a more oversized look than what mine, the size I did, was, but I didn't want it to be like out here because my mom is not petite, but not as petite as I am. We got a little bit roomier sleeves, and yeah, that's about it. Knit this one pretty fast. It is great. I pretty much almost ran out of this color. I don't remember. I don't remember the colorways. I don't get these colorways they're swatch leftovers. So I had 80 grams at least left over of each of these colorways. And so there's 6 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus so 7 total. So I striped 6, and I had 80 grams, less than 80 or less grams of each colorway. And some had more, some had less left over. It just depended on where they were placed, obviously. I did do the pocket placement different on these than the other one. Didn't make it as deep as or on the other one, the pocket gets placed here. But I placed them higher, wanting them deeper, but I still ended up with just about 3 stripes because I didn't knit this and I didn't stretch it out when I seamed it either, but I like the placement. It's fine. So I went 2 stripes up higher. Just made a few different modifications to the pattern, but because I had already knit it. I hate seaming, so I picked this up as I was going. It's the same pickup as Kay Litton, the Crazy Sock Lady, uses for her jelly roll. I don't think I have it linked in the project page, but it's the same kind of concept where you pick it up as you're knitting it. And so I did. The only thing I followed for the collar instructions was the knit one, purl one. Everything else, like I think I slipped the stitch differently at the beginning, and I of course attached it instead of seaming because I'm not a fan of seaming. So yeah, finished object number 2. Finished object number 3, you guys have not even been notified that I was knitting it, but I did a sample for Addie. Surprise, shocker, right? She had one of these, or this sample knit by another person, and it just didn't turn out very well. I apologize for that person and you're watching, but part of it's the pattern. I'm not the biggest fan. It's Wervel. Don't know who it's by, but it's in a book. Oh. Let me open this so it'll stop notifying me. I'm sorry. So it's Wervel is what the pattern is called, and so it's colorwork yoke, and then it's a completely different gauge change on the body. And so on the sleeves where the yoke met the gauge change, it was very puckery, and then the gauge change, it was an incorrect. I knit the whole body. I did not knit the color work of this. I'm not much of a color work fan, so thankfully I did not knit this. But I knit the entire body, so it's fingering at the top, and I think it's on a 3.5 is what the color works for. And then it is mohair, or 2 strands of Surrey, 2 strands of Surrey held with a fingering on a US 8 for the body, and then it's some color work on the sleeves, and then the cuffs are down even more. So I received this completely done. I frogged the entire body. I cut and kept to the color work here, so all the color work tension's the same. And then I knit the sleeves. Kitchener what is that? Seamed, whatever. I reattached this. I re-knit the cuffs because they were very loose and too long. So I re-knit each of the cuffs and I re-knit the body. And now it looks great. There's no puckering. I do have fold lines because, you know, you're going to get fold lines. But that's that. It's done. I hope to get it mailed off to Addie. I know the bottom colorways are her Addie or Lover Addie's version. It's the white base with a whole bunch of different rainbow speckles, and then I think that's her New Romantics mini set, but I can't remember off the top of my head. So there is that pattern, and it will get mailed to her eventually when I get that information. So let's fold that up real quick. Just a good time for me to be able to show you some of these things before they get sent off to their homes. If you are new around here, I do a lot of sample knitting for Addie. I don't really do a whole bunch of gift knitting, but I'm possibly going to be doing a whole bunch of gift knitting. So got that all wrapped up and ready to go. Those are my finished objects. I have a whip that I talked about last time with some yarn acquisitions that I have gotten some work done on. This is my twisted t-shirt by Briana Luppino of the Little Wolf Knits in my original String Crazy bag by Debbie. And so this is my twisted t-shirt. I'm loving the way it looks. Let's see, this is Ruby and Roses, and then this main colorway is Dragon Horde yarn that I got at the Arkansas Yarn Crawl in Summer Spectre. And then the pink was just some yarn that I had left over from swatches. It matches fantastically. So yeah, I'm in the body. I've done all the raglan increasing. I think, what size am I doing? I'm doing size 3. I think I did size 4 on the Douglas Cardi. I don't think I said that. And I think it was size 4 on the Wervel, if you are curious on those sizes. I do not have a project page for the Wervel, but I do have a project page with notes of what I did for the Douglas Cardi. And then this has a project page, which I haven't done anything different that needs notes. Sorry, I'm all over the place. So that's that. I did not alternate skeins until I started with the body because I was doing increases, and because of those increases, the color pooling wasn't like lining up too much. You kind of see it, and you always see the pooling things, or at least I do when you get it in camera. So there's a little bit, but it's not super noticeable. I wonder if there's on the back. Not really. It's a very busy colorway, so it kind of helps with the color pooling. But I am alternating skeins now here in the body, which I'm not very far into. I don't think I'm even an inch into the body. But that is that. I'm excited about just to have a plain old t-shirt. Here in Arkansas, it is very hot. Today is actually 80 something, maybe the mid 80s, which is cooler for August. So yeah, that is that. I'm not able to put it on, and I'm probably losing stitches. Probably need to put this on here. But I'm not able to put it on, and I don't really want to put it on cords to try it on right now. That's just not worth the finickiness. Just putzing around on the body, and then I will pick it. I will probably try it on after I'm done with the body to see if I want to extend the sleeves a little bit. I think it has me going straight into ribbing, which is twisted ribbing. Fun, right? So I did not swatch. I'm not a swatcher. So I just went with it, and I'm loving the gauge for it. I think that's about it. It's a fairly simple project, and I love the color pairing, and excited to have this one finished. It's great for study knitting. So I am working towards my CPA license, and there's multiple tests that I have to take that take a lot of studying to get towards. So I took one part this morning. So I will take a little bit of time off, and then we'll probably jump back in next week on studying for the next part. And so this is great study knitting. I can read knit, I can watch some videos and knit, and that works out for just straight knitting on the body. And that's kind of sat there for a little bit because of that, to be prepared for when I do need the study knitting. My next project is in my By the Bay Bagco bag. And this is one that I am so excited about. So if you've been around for a bit, maybe a couple months ago, I had talked about a sweater design that I had an idea of. I know it's been over a year in my head, for over a year. And I'm finally getting it onto needles and yarn. So the colorways I'm using are Ruby and Roses. I had 2 skeins of Sea Glass, and then this is Fisherman's Hamlet. I'm done with the Fisherman's Hamlet. Sea Glass, I've got that much left over. They're kind of different because I know they're 2 different dye lots, and I think she tweaked it from one to the other. But I'm alternating it, and it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's just what I had on hand to be able to do it. I'm gonna slip this on. This is my Brioche, I think I'm gonna name it the Brioche Point Sweater. And here I am. Last time I showed it off, I had just done the brioche sections. I had not done any body knitting. I had not done any, so I've done all these short rows pretty much in the last few days. So you do short rows underneath. Let me put it on and maybe you'll be able to see it a little bit better. I have steam blocked this so that way I can kind of figure out where everything lays, because brioche does open up a whole bunch. Let me put this mane up. Maybe not. So there are short rows. Cast on some under the sleeve like you do with most any, and then you pick up and knit back and forth until you get to where you're not picking up any more stitches here. And that's what created the point. And so kind of same thing for the sleeves, as you're going back and forth and all your sleeve decreases and so on and so forth. So here is my design. It's really not that much short rows, and it's a turn, slip your stitch and move forward type of short row. It's not like a German short row or a wrap and twist. And so you can see kind of picking it up. I am making a change in how I did this to where there's not a pickup row here. You might be able to see it in the sleeve more. It's closer to where the brioche ends, so it's not as noticeable. And here at the point, that one looks good to me. This point needs some alterations. I already have, because I did it here, I already know how I'm going to change that to get that fixed. But that's going to be on another sample. I've already decided I'm doing multiples of these. I am so excited about this. So I'm into the point of just plain knitting. I need to figure out how long I want the sleeve, how much I want the, how I want to decrease it and the ease type stuff, and then it's just to the spreadsheets and the math to get it figured out. I want a sample in where the contrast is different, where it's the light behind and the brioche behind and the dark on top. You could switch it to where your contrast color. So I'm calling the main color is what you're using for the body and the ribbing. The contrast color is the one that's behind, so on the wrong side in the brioche here. You could easily switch these two. So I'm thinking of doing an idea like that. Just for sample wise for issues. I am wanting to get into spinning. I'm wanting to get into the hand spun yarn. And I think that this one, putting your hand spun as the right side brioche and then doing everything else in a like contrast or your main color, something behind, so where that stands out here would be gorgeous. So I may purchase a skein and spin cycle to be able to do that as a sample type thing. I am just full of ideas, and this is all I want to work on right now. It will probably be finished in the next week. We do have a trip coming up, and I should have plenty of time knitting in the car, and it's just straight knitting. I mean, I've already done quite a bit today on the sleeve. You can see where the steam blocking didn't start. Steam blocking is amazing if you haven't done it. Get yourself a little handheld steamer. Yeah, amazing. You don't have to wait for it to dry like you do when you wet block. Now, wet blocking has its purposes and stuff, but steam blocking is amazing. I'm just so excited about this fit, how it's fitting on me. I want to see how it fits other body types when I do start that step. I may try, I know I've gotten some interest on Instagram when I posted some pictures of people that are saying, hey, let me know when it's ready to test. So I will definitely put out a call on Instagram and probably here whenever I get that figured out. It might be quite a bit longer. We'll see, because I don't know. I just don't know from here on out. I know I want to release it and let other people be able to knit it, but just getting the logistics of all that figured out is the next step. But family and work and CPA studying and all that's gonna come first, maybe. But it's all my notes are written down in my spiral here. So we'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get there. There's quite a bit of notes. Oh my goodness. I think wow, okay. I don't need to look at this now. Maybe I do. So look at my chicken scratch. It's like already pages long. There's lots of, it's so interesting to me, like how people design and get their heads around it. But I'm a math person. I like all the math. Let me know if you're excited to see this. I'm gonna go probably sit and knit for a little bit, and then I've got some chores I need to do before my family gets home. So I'm just enjoying my afternoon off after taking a test and finally having some time to not be worrying about that. And yeah, that's about it. I will speak with y'all again, record a podcast again at some point. Maybe, let's see. It may be a month, it may be 2 months. I'm jumping right into studying for my next test, which I'm planning on being towards the end of October, basically 2 months away. And so that I've got to jump straight in head first and kind of put my nose to the grind for, I don't even know if that was a correct terminology. Put my nose down and get that studying done to be able to be prepared for my test. I think October 24th is my goal. I haven't quite scheduled it, but I need to in the next week or so. So wish me luck moving forward with that, moving forward with this and the grading, and all that. I will speak with y'all eventually. Hope everybody has had a great time, and I will see you soon. Bye.